Hey everybody, Thomas here. So maybe pushing this log wasn't the best idea because I have made some kind of trench here. Yeah, I gotta fill that sucker in now. So I had the log over here. You know, I rotated it 90 degrees, got the tractor on that side, started pushing, thinking it would just, scoot across this ground. Yeah, it's not the case. So we're gonna have to do some, engineering thinking here. I'm gonna lift up this side. I'll put some of these offcuts underneath of it and see if that'll help slide it, because this log right here is everything my tractor will do to get it off the ground, maybe like that much. And it's just too hard to go around all the obstacles I have here. So it was best to kind of push it over. So, all right. Okay, so that didn't take too long. Hopefully I sped that up so you're not watching me the entire time there. But yeah, I got a nice little skid mark here in the yard. But that's all right. I think most of the grass stayed intact. I should be able to get that on there. But yeah, this log here, over 16 foot. It's a red oak, and it is insanely heavy. That log is over 3,000 pounds because this tractor here will lift up about 3,200 pounds. So yeah, it was just about all it could do. So, all right, let's get it up onto the sawmill. Okay, first things first, when you're loading a log of this size, again, over 3,000 pounds, the lifting arms here and the loading deck and everything, the loading deck says not to overload it beyond 5,000 pounds. We're not gonna do that on this log here. But when you load it up on there, you wanna make sure that you're making the proper contact points in the right places. So as you can see, the butt end here will go beyond this bunk right here. And if you go all the way down to the other side over here, it's going to go just beyond this bunk right here. Now, if I had this log further this way and it was like, within like 2 inches of touching that, I would want to move it down further. You want to make sure your ends are close to being supported. It just makes sure that if the log, when you're cutting it, you don't get any weird pressure points and stuff like that. It helps to kind of balance out the load on the deck as well. Again, with the loader, so center point of the log is about like right here or so. So I have my loading arms, you know, close to center. Center would really be a little bit further over. However, this loading arm right here is beyond the center point, so we should be able to lift this up no problem without having any issues of it teetering and such. So we're gonna go ahead and load this on there. All right, folks, it's actually a week later. I had to go down to Mayport, Florida again, do some stuff down there, but we're back up here. We have the log still on here on the sawmill. I was able to strip off most of the bark and everything because I wanted to get out all the dirt and debris. As you saw, we did push it through the ground here, which I've already filled that kind of back in with the grass pieces. And it looks like it's going to do okay. It's not too noticeable. But yeah, we had to get all that sand and debris out of there because we're still also doing a blade test here. This is the 4-degree Woodmizer Double Hard blade that we started running in the wintertime. We've run about 800 board foot on this blade so far, and she is getting near the end of the life. Now, I say 800 board foot. That was 800 board foot of frozen logs, so it's still scratching my nail and everything. I know it's hard to see, but yeah, it's still scratching the nail, and the set is still good. We're gonna go ahead and see if we can cut this oak log up into the 2x10s that the neighbor needs. It's 17 foot 3 inches long. It's 23 inches in diameter down here, and it's 22 inches in diameter down there. The actual weight of this, I'm going to do a screenshot of this and everything using the log scale app that I have and everything, shows it just over 3,500 pounds. So 3,500 pounds, that is a very heavy log. As you saw, the loader on the sawmill had no issue loading that up there. Let's get to cutting. I'm going to go ahead and do the first few cuts. We're going to do that via time lapse and everything. And then towards the end of the video, we'll do real-time cutting as we cut the dimensional stuff out. So you'll see me make my first 4 cuts, cutting off those flitches, those rounded section pieces off and everything. Get down to some good wood. The only thing that's kind of concerning here is we have this knot, which does have a kind of a deep inclusion into there, but I think based on the orientation of the log and how this dip is right here, I think we're going to do a pretty deep cut on that side, so that should go away. All right, let's get to cutting. Okay, folks, it's still a big log. I'm reading 15 1/4 by 15 1/4. That's the cant size and everything. 17 foot 3 inches. I'm going to throw a screenshot up, hopefully, or something, maybe text that shows how heavy this red oak log still is. The cants that were coming, or excuse me, the fitches that were coming off, I did a pretty good job of getting all the wood not required. You know, because this is a customer's log and everything. He doesn't want anything small out of this. This right here is going to be great firewood that I'll give to him as well, because he does firewood as well. So that's a decent amount of firewood. The only thing is on this side right here, you can still see we have that one little indention, and that's okay. What I'm going to do is I actually oriented this log. It's almost centered pith on this side. On the other side, the pith is about right here. I'm going to make a few cuts down this way until I get to my 10-inch measurement, and then we're going to start cutting from the other way. But if I make a few cuts this way and everything, it'll allow me to get rid of this section right here. I can probably get a couple 2x10s out of here, and then we'll turn it and everything, and I'll get majority of my good 2x10s out of that face right there. The pith section might be garbage, and then we'll get a few out of the bottom. But yeah, I think we're going to get quite a few of these 2x10s out of here. I think he's going to be surprised. He was only thinking we were going to get 3 or 4. I guarantee we'll probably have at least 6 out of this. So this will go over very well. All right, now let's go ahead and cut this. The blade's cutting great. Let's look at this cut quality. Again, this is a blade I ran through the winter time. I was cutting up, I cut up about 800 board foot plus of, what do you call it? Frozen logs and everything. And you can still see the cut quality is not bad at all. I'm watching a solid stream of sawdust come off. And in fact, what I'll do is I'll set the camera up on this side here so you can watch that stream of sawdust coming off, because that right there is a great indication that you still have set. If your blade loses set, then it's essentially done for. All you're doing is adding induced heat into that blade. That set's really important. As those teeth are, set apart and everything, there's a ratio between material coming off and air. If you don't have that air in there, then you don't have that cooling in there. You're heating up your blade, and you're going to fatigue that blade early. Now, this is a 55 thousandths blade and everything. It's a Woodmizer Double Hard and everything with a 4 degree. So 4 degrees is not a very sharp hook angle, and that means you have to kind of cut slow, because it's taking more of that impact across the face of the tooth than if it was just the tip of the tooth. So it's working a little bit harder. Therefore, you got to run the saw a little bit slower. But this blade, I believe, was set at 25 thousandths in the beginning, and that 25 thousandths is really doing a great job at letting that sawdust and air just flow through it, keeping it nice and cool, and you'll see the solid stream that comes off it. All right, I've had enough talking here. Kids are fighting the distance. Let's go ahead and put on the final few cuts here and everything, so you get to see the turning of the log and cutting up into as many 2x10s as we can. Well, okay, there you have it. There are 5 beautiful 2x10s on there. And then I actually have 2 more 2x10s down there, and then 2 more larger ones. So, what was that, 8? No, excuse me. I have 9 in total 2x10s. Now, I will say this. Let me go ahead and take the camera out of here. There are a few that the pith is in, and I'm going to have to probably discount or cut those out of here. So this one right here should be good. This one right here, no bueno. Okay, those 2 are questionable. So I got 3 good ones there. I got 2 good ones there, and I've got 2 more there. Not too shabby. All right, so actually, here's another thing. Something unbeknownst to y'all. I actually cut these at 10 3/4, and the reason is because I need some 1/4-inch strips down in my basement. And I was looking at the scale and everything. I said, well, it's not gonna, reduce the amount of wood. Oh, look at there. Daniel's riding his bike by himself. That's like his first time by himself. That's awesome. Good job, Daniel. Yeah, we were just teaching him how to do that yesterday. So I saw him actually ride that. That's great. Okay, so I'm actually going to turn these on end and take off a couple 1/4-inch strips, and that'll get me down. That'll get me down to what I need to do. So I saw.
Yeah, I did with 0 help.
0 help. I saw that. You went from mommy's car to about where it's at. Keep on doing it.
Yeah.
All right, have fun. I'm proud of him. That's awesome. All right, so again, I'm going to cut these into 1/4-inch strips because I actually have the wood wall down in our basement. I put up the wood greenish, and I knew that there'd be some gaps that occur, and we did the same thing in Mississippi and everything, but this is red oak. It'll match what I have. This is actually the length that I need. I actually need 16 foot 7 inches. These are 17 foot 3, so I'll be able to run the entire strip perfectly. So I'm going to cut 2 1/4-ounce strips out of this, or I'll make it where I'll get 2 cuts, and then that final cut will be 10 inches wide. So it's going to work out perfectly. All right, so I'll throw in a time lapse, or I'll just keep on going. Then I got to kind of run the numbers on how much this blade is cut, because this blade, as you saw, the sawdust that's flying off is absolutely awesome. Awesome flow of sawdust coming off. Folks, there you have it. 9 2x10s. Now I actually cut these at 2 1/16 of an inch, and then they were 10 1/8 of an inch to allow for some shrinkage and everything. But I think the customers will be very happy. And I say the customer, it's actually my neighbor down the road and everything. I'm not charging him anything to do this because he brings me logs over every so often, and I just cut up stuff for him. So this is a great way to barter back and forth. And I've cut a lot of wood for him. His shop that he's been building, if you saw my recent episode where we're cutting up cedar and everything, he has a business he runs at a shop and everything, and he puts up some of his tools and stuff that are for sale on that shop wall out of the cedar. And this right here are going to be header boards for lean-tos, I think, off the back of the building or something like that. Yeah, so he was only anticipating getting like 3 or 4 good ones. I think he's going to be surprised when I drop these off and he sees that there's 9 solid, straight 17 foot 3 inch 2x10s. So yeah, also I'll throw in some numbers here and everything on how much this weighs. This is still very heavy, and we'll kind of figure out how much came off in the way of flitches. And I've got these 2, they're not 2x4s, they're actually slightly larger than 2x4s. I needed these because we had goat babies just the other day. You can't see them, they're underneath one of the coops or something like that, but the brown goat right there, she gave birth to twins, and our milking stand is actually down in Tennessee at our farm down there. I didn't bring it up because I didn't have room last trip. So long story short, I'm going to make a milking stand using this oak here along with some plywood that I have, and a design that we've used for a while there. There you go, Daniel. He's trying to learn how to start that bike. He's doing good. The grass is a little bit high, and he's kind of going up a hill there. So yeah. All right, folks, I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it was a long one. I'm going to try to shorten this up as best I can. But yeah, please like, subscribe to the channel. If you want to see more stuff, if you have any questions or comments, please let me know. I'll put it out there because I absolutely love running this sawmill and getting to play with it. All right, we'll see you around. Thanks.